Yeah, so if it was me doing the AP ENG LANG exam this year, I would make sure that the thing you had to read for the rhetorical analysis was really hard because there's just this one test this year, and I think they're going to want to make sure that you can read something that's difficult and then do a literary analysis on it. So let's practice that. So when I think about hard to read, I often think of John Ruskin. There he is with his hand in his jacket. He was he was a lot of things, but among them was a proto-environmentalist. He was a guy who knew a lot of things about a lot of things. So let's bust into the storm cloud of the 19th century, which is from volume XX1V of his complete works. Can you imagine having XX1V volumes of your complete works? Not me. So before we jump into Ruskin over here, there's one thing I always like to do to start my writing process, and that's procrastinate. Oh no, Lucky's trapped inside and all of her friends are over here. What's the matter? Come on. Oh well, she'll figure it out, and I'm sure we will too. I mean, how to do the AP ENG LANG rhetorical analysis thing, which we ought to get to work on, don't you think? Focus. Focus, that's right. So how do we do this thing again? Oh, yeah, right. This. Respond to the prompt with a thesis that analyzes the writer's rhetorical choices. There is no prompt. No prompt? No problem. Just always do this. Wait. Always do this. Think about what is the author's overarching theme and how does their rhetoric support it. Give 3 examples each for each rhetorical strategy, and don't go too heavy on the logos, pathos, or ethos. All right, so it sounds like the first thing I have to do is find out what is the author's overarching thesis. What is he really trying to say? He may not necessarily come right out and say it. I might have to figure it out, and to figure it out, I am gonna have to read it. Yeah, baby. Dismalist. That's diction. I'm killing it. Look, I just read the first 3 paragraphs, and I got your metaphor, your narrative, diction, of course, description, and there's even a little bit of ethos. Ethos, I said not to use it, and I don't think you should, but you can just keep it in the background. It's like the character you think is dead who just pops up at the end. It's like, ah. All right, so let me tell you why I'm feeling so good. First of all, I know his overarching thesis, and that's what you need to go anywhere on this. Remember, we said he was a proto-environmentalist, so I'm looking for something environmental here, and we're talking about Storm Cloud in the 19th century, and I look at the date it was published, and it's really important. You got to look at the date it was published so you can connect it to what you know from taking world history and U.S. history, all that history. I know that in the late 1800s, the Industrial Revolution was really getting chunka. There I am, thinking socio-economically, thinking historically, and I know that John Ruskin is, his point is that all this smoke coming from factories is going to hurt our environment. Sure enough, he's got this diction that is just so dismal. He said, he uses dismal twice on practically 1 page. That's pretty sad. He's got meager, changelessly sullen. Then he doubles down with alliteration, despondent and darkened. The factory smoke, it no good. So now I can just read the rest of this baddie, and I know he's going to give up the rhetorical devices just like he gave it up with the diction and the description. I know there's going to be one more, and I can just read like a confident person knowing that the third rhetorical strategy is going to reveal itself unto me. The essential signs of it, that's definition, people. What kind of wind is it? It's a wind of darkness. It's malignant. the enumerating things, that's a dead giveaway. It always blows tremulously, and if you don't know what tremulously means, you can just read the other words. It'll tell you it makes the leaves shudder, so it's like that. What else? Oh, it degrades while intensifies ordinary storms. This plague wind is a real beast. So now I'm really sitting pretty, if I dare say. because I know the author's overarching theme. It's, you know, these storm clouds are pollution that are going to kill us all. And I've got 3 types of rhetorical strategies that he uses. He uses good old diction and description, which I know we didn't really talk about, and definition as well. So now all I have to do is write it. Oh yeah. All right. And what's this sucker called? Oh, the storm cloud in the storm cloud of the 19th century. John Ruskin's message is that the dark clouds gathering from industrial pollution let's say dark clouds gathering from the industrial pollution of the Industrial Revolution are changing the weather for the worse. He uses, what do we say, diction, description, and let's throw a comma after that D. Description and definition as rhetorical strategies to persuade, engage and persuade his readers that something must be done. All right, so you just bang it out. You know, you've got diction, and you describe, you know, what effect the diction has. It's got an ominous effect, and you give your ton of words: plague, wind, dismal, changelessly sullen, all of those. It's dismal, man. And that's real good, but it's not good enough because it hasn't tied that use of rhetoric to the author's purpose, right? So, you know, if it's just rhetoric, it's like, whatever. But you have to say, like, well, why, you know, why so serious, Ruskin? So I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to put on my thinking hat. Using these ominous terms, not just because he's in a dour mood, he's using ominous diction because he sees a plague coming. All right, next paragraph. Ruskin's descriptions are ominous too. You know, I'm going to use the word ominous a lot. You know, my diction matters too as a writer, and I want to get across the point that this is an ominous essay, so I'm just going to go ominous, 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 ominous. First uses definition to make sure we know exactly which ominous clouds are the ones he's talking about. Ring-a-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding-a-ding. All right, so what have we learned here? Nothing. But if we had learned something, what would we have learned? Well, I think you got to read the thing. You got to answer the prompt, and whatever the prompt is, you're going to have to determine what rhetorical choices the author makes and how do those support their overarching thesis. So while you're reading this thing, however, whatever it is, try to figure out what the author is trying to say and how are they saying it, and you'll be good.